Good morning, my dear students. Welcome to our software online class. Hope you are very happy and hope you are studied the last class questions. Okay, dear students, in the last class we studied about more than 10 2-mark question answers, 4 respiratory volumes, 5 respiratory capacities, and another one 2-mark question, dead space. Okay, so these are the some of the important 2-mark questions we have studied in the last class. So hope you are studied these 2-mark questions. Okay, dear students, today we are going to study about the next topic. Okay, so the next topic of this chapter is transport of gases. Okay, transport of gases. Actually, the carbon dioxide and oxygen, both gases are called respiratory gas. Here the carbon dioxide is moving from the tissues to the alveoli through the blood, and the oxygen is moving from the alveoli to the tissues through the blood. Understand a few? So these two gases are called respiratory gases. So now we are going in this class. We are going to study about how these two gases are transported from one part of the body to another part. Okay. So first we are going to study about the transport of oxygen. Okay, transport of oxygen. Actually, the oxygen molecules are transported from the alveoli to the tissues by two ways. Okay, oxygen molecules are transported from the alveoli to the tissues by two ways. Okay, see, listen very carefully. 3% of the oxygen molecules are carried or transported through the plasma. Okay, so 3% of the oxygen molecules present in the alveoli is dissolved inside the plasma of the blood. Dissolved in the plasma of the blood. Finally, the plasma carrying or transporting these 3% of oxygen from the alveoli to the tissues. The remaining 97% of the oxygen molecules are carried by the hemoglobin molecules. Okay, that means the remaining 97% of the oxygen molecules are binding with the hemoglobin molecules, and now this hemoglobin molecule is called oxyhemoglobin. Okay, so this hemoglobin molecule only carrying or transporting the 97% of the oxygen molecule to the tissues. Understand a few? Understand? So hope you are understood this part. And one hemoglobin molecule can carry or transport maximum 4 molecules of oxygen. Okay. The next one more question is a very important one more question. One hemoglobin molecule can carry 4 oxygen molecules. Understand that, dear students? Hope you are understood this part. Then next point about this transport of oxygen is say inside the alveoli the pressure of the oxygen is very high. Pressure means here we can say partial pressure, PO2. Okay, the oxygen, the partial pressure of the oxygen is mentioned as PO2. So inside the alveoli, the PO2 is very high. Understand a few? But the PCO2 is very low. PCO2 means partial pressure of the carbon dioxide. So inside the alveoli, the PO2 is high, PCO2 is low, the temperature is low. Okay, temperature is low. Understand a few? And hydrogen concentration also very low inside the alveoli. So because of these reasons or these factors is very useful for the formation of this oxyhemoglobin. Okay, so the reason for the formation of high amount of oxyhemoglobin is there are many reasons are there. The first reason is high PO2, second reason is low PCO2, then low temperature and low hydrogen ions. Okay, hydrogen molecules. So these reasons only helps for the formation of more amount of oxyhemoglobins inside the alveoli. Understand a few? Then, but in the tissues, inside the tissue, the PCO2 is very high. That means the partial pressure of the carbon dioxide is very high. Okay, and the PO2 is very low. Partial pressure of the oxygen is low. Understand a few? Understand? So because of this reason, this oxyhemoglobin is dissociated into hemoglobin and oxygen. So inside the tissues, the PCO2 is high and PO2 is low. Okay, PO2 is low. Understand a few? And the temperature also very high. Hydrogen ions also very high. So these conditions or these factors dissociate or separate oxygen molecule from the carbon dioxide, from the oxyhemoglobin, from the oxyhemoglobins. Understand a few? Understand? So hope you are understood this part. Okay. See, When this carbon dioxide oxygen molecule is saturated with the hemoglobin molecule, one curve is observed. Okay, one S-shaped or sigmoid curve is observed. Name of this curve is called oxyhemoglobin dissociation curve. Okay, so I am going to repeat this point. When the oxygen molecules are saturated with the hemoglobin molecule, one S-shaped or one sigma-shaped curve is observed. Name of this curve is called oxyhemoglobin dissociation curve. See, this is the oxyhemoglobin dissociation curve. Okay, in this axis, the partial pressure of the oxygen is mentioned in mmHg. Okay, and in this axis, the saturation of hemoglobin molecule with oxygen is mentioned in this axis. Understand of you? Listen very carefully. See, when the pressure is present between 20 to 50 mmHg, okay, when the pressure of the oxygen, or the partial pressure of the oxygen is present between 20 to 50 mmHg, we can see a steep slope. Okay, we can see a small slope in the curve. After reaching 70 mmHg, okay, the partial pressure of the oxygen is reaching after 70 mmHg, okay, it is converted here, once flattened, the curve is changed into flat, okay, curve is changed into flat, okay, once again repeat this point. When the curve is, when the partial pressure of the oxygen is between 20 to 50 mmHg, a steep slope is there. When the partial pressure of the oxygen is between 70 to 100 mmHg, the curve is flat. The curve is flat. Understand of you? Understand? So this says, okay, this curve shows when the partial pressure of the oxygen is increased, okay, partial pressure of the oxygen is increased, automatically the oxygen molecule is separated. Okay, oxygen molecule is separated. Understand of you? So this curve is called oxyhemoglobin dissociation curve. Oxyhemoglobin dissociation curve. Understand of you? Understand that? See, every 100 ml of oxygenated blood or pure blood deliver 5 milliliter of oxygen. Okay, 5 liters of milliliters of oxygen to the tissue. So very important one more question. See, every 100 ml of oxygenated blood or pure blood deliver 5 ml of oxygen to the tissues. Understand of you? So dear friends, now we have completed the transport of oxygen. Then, now we are going to study about the transport of carbon dioxide. That means how the carbon dioxide molecule is transported from the tissues to the alveoli. Okay, actually the carbon dioxide molecules are transported from the tissue to alveoli by 3 ways. Okay, listen very carefully. See, 3% of the carbon dioxide molecule is dissolved in the plasma. So 3% of the carbon dioxide molecule is transported by the plasma of the blood. Understand of you? Then 20 to 25% of the carbon dioxide molecule is bind with the hemoglobin molecule. So 20 to 25% of the carbon dioxide released from the tissue is binding with the hemoglobin molecule. So the hemoglobin molecule will transport this 20 to 25% of the carbon dioxide to the alveoli. Then next 70% of the carbon dioxide molecules are eliminated or transported from the tissue to alveoli in the form of bicarbonate ions. In the form of bicarbonate ions. Understand of you? So this is very important. One more questions. Okay, listen the next point very carefully. See, inside the tissue, the partial pressure of the carbon dioxide is very high. Partial pressure of the carbon dioxide is very high. Understand of you? Understand? So, this carbon dioxide is entering inside the blood from the tissue. Okay, from the tissue, the carbon dioxide is entering inside the blood. Understand of you? Then when it is entering inside the blood, it is converted into bicarbonate and hydrogen. It is converted into, or it is forming bicarbonate and hydrogen. Okay, when the carbon dioxide is entering inside the blood from the tissue, it form or it produce bicarbonate and hydrogen. Okay, then when this carbon dioxide is entering inside the RBC, inside this RBC, the carbon dioxide is combined with water and forming carbonic acid. Combined with water and forming carbonic acid. Okay, so these activities are catalyzed by a special type of enzyme. Name of this enzyme is called carbonic acid. Sorry, carbonic anhydrase. Okay, so carbonic anhydrase playing a very important role in the transport of carbon dioxide. Understand? Have you understand? Then say when these bicarbonate ions are entering inside the plasma of the blood, okay, it is directly moving to the lungs, alveoli of the lungs. Okay, alveoli of the lungs. Then after reaching the alveoli, these bicarbonate ions have been changed into carbon dioxide and water with the help of the same carbonic anhydrase enzyme. Once I repeat this last point, the bicarbonate ions are entering inside the plasma of the blood. Then from the plasma of the blood, it is moving or transported to the alveoli of the lungs. After reaching the alveoli, the bicarbonate ions are changed into carbon dioxide and water with the help of the same carbonic anhydrase. So the carbonic anhydrase enzyme doing this action in both directions. Okay, in both directions. Understand a few? Understand? So hope you are understood this point. Then, what are the very important one more question of this carbon dioxide transport is every 100 ml of deoxygenated blood deliver 4 ml of carbon dioxide to the alveoli. Here I said one more question, every 100 ml of oxygenated blood can deliver 5 ml of oxygen to the tissue. Here every 100 ml of deoxygenated blood can deliver 4 ml of carbon dioxide to the alveoli. Understand a few? So hope you are understood the transport of both oxygen and oxygen and carbon dioxide. Understand a few? Understand? Then see next topic is regulation of respiration. Regulation of respiration. All the activities of our body is regulated by some centers present in the brain. Here also the respiratory process also controlled or regulated by some centers present in the brain. There are 2 centers are responsible for controlling this respiration. First center is called respiratory rhythm center. It is present in the medulla oblongata region of the brain. Then the second center is called pneumothoracic center. It is present in the pons viroli of the brain. Understand a few? So the first center is called respiratory rhythm center and the second center is called pneumothoracic center. Understand a few? Understand? So these 2 centers are playing a very important role in controlling our respiratory process. Then one more area is present, say chemosensitive area. This chemosensitive area is located near this respiratory rhythm center. Okay, and this area is highly sensitive to carbon dioxide and hydrogen. This chemosensitive area is highly sensitive to carbon dioxide and hydrogen. So during this condition, during this dangerous condition, the receptors present in the aortic arch and carotid artery, okay, these are the blood vessels. So the receptors present in the aortic arch and the carotid artery sending the signals to this respiratory rhythm center to solve this problem. Okay, so when these chemosensitive areas are sensitized by carbon dioxide and hydrogen, immediately the receptors present in the aortic arch and carotid artery sending the signals to the respiratory rhythm center. So this respiratory rhythm center is taking a remedial action. Understand, dear students? So that's all about this regulation of respiration. Then now the last we are going to study about problem in oxygen transport. Problem in oxygen transport. Listen very carefully, dear students. See. When a person is suddenly moving from the sea level to high elevated area, okay, high elevated area means above 6,000 feet. Okay, so when a person is suddenly moving from the sea level to high elevated area, he or she will face one problem. Name of that problem is called acute mountain sickness. Okay, the person will face one sickness. Name of that sickness is called acute mountain sickness. See, when suddenly the person is moving from the sea level to high elevated area, in the high elevated area, the atmospheric pressure is very low, and the pressure of the oxygen is also very low. Like pressure of the oxygen and atmospheric pressure is very low. So that person will feel some symptoms like headache, vomiting, nausea, difficulties in breathing. Okay, so these are the problems that person will face. Understand a few? Understand? So during this time, our kidney playing a very important role. Okay, kidney is making a adjustment with the respiratory center. Okay, in this condition, immediately our kidney releasing one hormone. Okay, erythropoietin. Name of this hormone is called erythropoietin. So this erythropoietin hormone stimulates the bone marrow to produce more amount of RBCs. Okay, to produce more amount of RBCs. Understand a few? Understand? So the reason for this acute mountain sickness is the pressure in the atmospheric air and the pressure in the oxygen is very low. Understand? So sufficient amount of oxygen molecules are not able to bind with the hemoglobin molecule. Okay, so during this time the kidney releasing this hormone, and this hormone stimulate the bone marrow to produce more amount of RBC. Okay, understand a few? Then next one disorder, disease is called nitrogen narcosis. When a person suddenly enter into the deep of the sea, okay, enter to the deep of the sea, he will face one problem. Name of that problem is called nitrogen narcosis. Okay, the person or the divers will face some problem. Name of that problem is called nitrogen narcosis. See, actually inside the water, deep of the water, the water pressure is very high. So when a person is suddenly moving to the deep of the water, the surrounding water's pressure, the pressure of the surrounding water, decreasing the lungs volume, of that diver or of that particular person. Understand a few? Understand? So when the lungs volume is decreased, automatically the pressure is increased. Inside the lungs, the pressure is increased. Understand? So this is one of the useful condition, beneficial condition only, because when the inside the lungs pressure is increased, automatically more amount of oxygen is entering inside the circulatory system. Understand a few? But here the problem is, when the oxygen molecules are entering inside the circulatory system, some amount of nitrogen also entering inside the circulation. Okay? So this nitrogen causing one problem, it is called nitrogen narcosis. This condition is called nitrogen narcosis. Understand? When the same person suddenly move from the deep of the sea to outer surface of the water, that person faces another one problem. Name of that problem is called bends or decompression sickness. Okay, bends or decompression sickness. Okay, so the bends or decompression sickness, when a person faces, when the person is suddenly moving from the deep of the sea to the outer surface. Understand a few? Because the reason is already the nitrogen is entering inside his or her surface. Okay, so this nitrogen making a bubbles. Okay, the small bubbles are not a problem. But the large sized bubbles blocking the arteries and pressing the nerve ends. So that person feels some pain in the muscles, joints, and sometimes it leads to stroke also. Okay, so he will face some nerve problem and finally it leads to some stroke. Okay, so finally it leads to the problems like stroke. Understand a few? Understand? So this condition is called bends or decompression sickness. Understand a few? Understand? Then, okay. So today we have completed many topics. The first topic is transport of gases. We studied about the transport of both oxygen and carbon dioxide. Then we studied about the regulation of respiration. It's a very small topic. And finally we studied about the problems in transport of oxygen. Problem in oxygen transport. Okay, what are the problems? 3 problems we studied. Okay, first the problem is acute mountain sickness. Second is nitrogen narcosis, and the third sickness is bend or decompression sickness. Understand a few? Understand? Dear students, hope you all enjoyed today's class and try to complete these topics today itself, and we will meet in the next class. Okay, thank you.